We have already created the templates for yearly budget database in the previous video. We now need to create the templates for monthly budget database. We shall use the same Excel that we used in the last video as reference to create the templates. Column E contains the expense type for the monthly database templates. Let's create the first one for fresh items. To create a new template, click on this down arrow, then new template. The name is fresh items. But additionally, we shall add this @today. What it will do is that whenever a new database record would be created, it would insert the date for that day. Since there would be entries for all the months of the year in the database, so having the date along with the name would help to understand quickly which particular month's record is this. There is another database column which also captures the creation date. Can you guess which column is that? Please share it in the comment. Let's update the columns for fresh item templates. The display order for the fresh items is 1. So let's put 1 here. Actual survival amount is a formula. Ad hoc budget, no need to update anything here. Actual till date is another formula. Created by created time is already populated. Expense frequency for the fresh items, the frequency is monthly. So let's select monthly here. Then last edited by last edited time, month is again formula. Let's check the month and year column in the Excel. Month and year column, we shall set it to today. The column name is little misleading because it's actually capturing the full date, which is what I also used in my expense tracker database. But if you wish, you just change this column name to date. In fact, let's do that. Edit property, let's call it date here. Let's update that in the Excel as well. Month and year, let's call it date. Now let's add a cover, change unplush, look for fresh vegetables. Let's select this one as a cover. Okay, let's add an icon. I actually recently did some research to buy the new MacBook Pro. So let's choose an apple for the icon. I in fact made a couple of videos on that as well. You can watch those videos if you are interested. I shall put the link in the description. So with this, the template for fresh items is done, but let me reorder some of these columns to make it look little better. But wait a minute, are you not wondering where is the link between this monthly fresh item expense head and the yearly fresh item expense head that we talked about in the first video? If you remember, we talked about the link between the monthly budget database and the yearly budget database. So the fresh item expense head of the monthly database needs to be linked with the fresh item expense head of yearly budget database. And on top of that, we need to update the yearly budget database template that we have already created to list all the items of monthly expense database inside the yearly budget database template. Finally, we will take the advantage of templates by scheduling the monthly database templates in order to create the records every month into the monthly database. There is a lot to do, so let's jump to the Notion and resume the work. First thing first, let's link monthly and yearly budget databases. You already know how to link two databases. We shall create a new column or property which is relation, and we shall select yearly budget database. Then it will be a two-way relation, and let's click on this add relation. So we have successfully linked the monthly database with the yearly budget database, as you can see here. If we go back to yearly budget database, we should now see a column monthly budget database, as you can see here. For the fresh items for a given year, there would be 12 database entries in the monthly budget database, one for each month. And all of those must be linked with the corresponding yearly database fresh item. And we want to also see all of those monthly entries, which are those 12 entries, in a single place. And to do that, we have to modify the yearly budget database template. Let's see how that can be done. Click on this edit. Let's make it full screen. Inside the template body, we will create a database view. Let's create the table view and we shall link the monthly database here. By default, it will show all the entries of monthly budget database, and the records could be of any type, like fresh items or grocery or medical or shopping, like that. And over a period of time, the monthly database is going to contain record for more than 1 year. But we only want to see entries of only fresh items, and that also for a specific year. Let's see how to do that. Next, I am going to talk about a very important concept of Notion, and I shall try to explain it as easily and as best as I can. But if you still have doubt, then I would highly recommend you to pause and rewatch this portion to understand it fully. But if you still have doubt, then please mention that into the comment and I will try my best to explain that over there. Let's get back to the work. We need to use a filter to select the specific records, in this case the fresh items of specific year, and the filter that we are going to use is this one. So this yearly budget database is a column inside the monthly budget database because we linked both the databases. So we will select this column. Let's change this to advanced filter and we will select fresh items here. What this particular filter criteria means is that the yearly budget database fresh items record, which would be created using this template of yearly budget database, would show all the monthly budget database fresh items which are linked to that particular record. Let's see an example. We need to create a new database entry in the yearly budget database for fresh items. So let's create one. So click on this, then click on this template fresh items. We have all the required columns filled up. So let's close this. Now let's go back to monthly database, edit the fresh items. We need to link this template of monthly fresh items with the record that we just created in yearly budget database, which is this. And what it will do that whenever a new fresh item record will be created in the monthly budget database using this template, then that record would be linked to the yearly budget database fresh items automatically. Let me show an example. So let's come out of this, and if I create a fresh item record here, so let's keep the value whatever it is. Let's create one more. Let's just change the name to fresh items 2 to give it a unique name. Now if we go to the yearly budget database and if we open this fresh items that we have already created, let's make it full screen. As you can see, those two entries of monthly database are appearing here. Now to prove that it will only show the fresh items created using that particular fresh item template, we can go back to monthly database one more time and now create another record. Let's say fresh items, but this one we are creating not using the fresh item templates. So let's call it 3. Over here you can see it is showing this record, but if we go back to yearly budget database again, open this fresh items, make it full screen, you will see that it is not appearing here. Why? Because of this filtering effect. So this filter is only selecting those records which are linked to the record created using the fresh item templates of yearly budget database. So whenever a new entry would be created in the monthly budget database using this, then it would always be linked to the fresh item record of the yearly budget database. I hope you understood this part. If not, then as I requested, please pause and rewatch until you understand this fully. If you still have doubt, then please share your comments and I will try try to explain that. Now let us schedule this monthly budget database template so that it gets created automatically each month. Let's make it month, and we want to create first day of the month starting from 1st of June. Save. Since this template will be used every time, so all the records would be automatically linked to the yearly budget database record of fresh items, because we linked this template to fresh item record of yearly budget database, and that will help us to list down all the monthly database items inside the yearly budget database fresh item record. I hope you understood the concept. If not, then please rewatch this part of the video until you understand it fully. That's all we need to create each template of monthly budget database. I know it's a lot to digest, so if you have still doubt, then pause and rewatch. But I'm going to show one more template creation step by step, and that might help you to clarify any doubts that you still have. So let's again go back to Notion and resume the work. So now let's create the template for grocery. So click on new template. Let's call it grocery. Add this today. As I mentioned earlier, the display order for grocery for monthly database is 10. Expense frequency is monthly. Date should be today. This is all formula. Ad hoc not needed, and these are all pre-populated. So add a cover. Let's look for grocery items. Okay, this one looks to be good. Select this one. Okay, let's add an icon. Shopping, use this shopping trolley. Okay, so save. Now we can go to yearly budget database, and similar to fresh item, we will edit the grocery template of yearly budget database. Let's create a database table view, link the monthly budget database. Now see, we already have these records that we created as an example, and the moment we added this under this grocery template of yearly budget database, you can see it is showing the fresh items. So if you don't use any filter, it will show everything as I mentioned earlier. But we only want to see the monthly grocery item entries in this template. So we will use the same filter, yearly budget database, but instead of fresh items that we used last time, we will use grocery here. So the moment we select, you can see nothing is appearing here. So the template is updated. Now we can create a yearly budget database entry like this. Now if I go to monthly budget database, then open the grocery template again, go to yearly budget database. Now this time I have to link with grocery. Now if we create any of the grocery item, and if we go to yearly budget database, open the grocery, make it full screen, we will see that record appearing here. Let's create the templates for insurance. For the monthly budget database, we need to create two templates, one for term insurance, which is monthly, and another for health insurance, which is yearly. So let's go to the monthly budget database, new template. We'll call it term insurance. Today, what is the display order? Display order is 20. Expense frequency for term insurance is monthly, and date should be today. We shall add a cover. Let's select any of this, maybe this one. Add an icon, maybe this one. Okay, so done. Let's create another template. We can duplicate this and we can call it health insurance. Remove this from here. The frequency of the health insurance is yearly and date can be today. We can change the cover to something else. Insurance policy. You can take this one and change the icon. Maybe we can use this one, health insurance, and that's done. Let's go to the yearly budget database. Now edit the insurance. let's create the table view, link the monthly budget database. Obviously it is showing everything, but for insurance, let's convert this to advanced filter. So it should be insurance, and as you can see, all those disappeared now. Now let's create the insurance record. Let's keep the values as is. Now go back to monthly budget database, and we need to we forgot to schedule the grocery one. Let's schedule the grocery template again, monthly, and we'll start from tomorrow, 1st June. Let's save it. Okay, now go to term insurance, edit, and we want to link this with, as you might have guessed, insurance. Same for the health insurance, edit, and we want to link with insurance. Now similarly we can schedule this. So term insurance, this is a monthly, schedule that monthly, tomorrow, save, and health insurance is yearly. So again we can schedule like this. It can start tomorrow, but the next occurrence will happen the next year. So I hope you got the concept. So now again, to show some example, if we want to create one term insurance record and one health insurance record, and if we go to yearly budget database and open the insurance, make it full screen, you can see both the records appearing here, because for both of these templates we linked it to the insurance record of yearly budget database. Let me create the templates for rest of the expense head. So as you can see, we have created all the templates of monthly budget database. So we have completed the templates for monthly budget database, and we have also covered some key concepts of Notion database. The video got longer, but I hope you found this useful. If so, then please share, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I shall see you in the next video.